COPWATCH, policing the police every single day.
Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Prummell turning school jails into prisons because that's what Nazis do. The challenge ahead for new campus officers. How to protect and not stoke fear. By Alexandra Herrera and Kayla Gleason. Staff writers. Marino Rotondo will be on the job when Sarasota County schools begin today, but not in a capacity he expected. Rotondo came out of retirement to serve on the district's emerging police force. The officers are part of the county's efforts to increase security, in light of the Parkland massacre earlier this year and legislation that required armed security on every campus. The former East Rutherford, New Jersey, officer, who retired to the area a year ago, said it's an opportunity to protect students and teachers. Sarasota County Schools Police Chief Paul Grahowski is seen at the podium during last week's swearing-in of new officers. Sun photo by Alexandra Herrera. Sarasota County Sheriff Tom Knight, far right, and his dozen new campus officers are ready for this school year. Photo provided. And give him a different perspective of the relatively new place he lives. You get to know the community, said Rotondo, who had been volunteering with the Northport Police Department as a service aide. With the somewhat unusual circumstances and all the new officers coming aboard and training at the same time, he said they're developing a special bond. Rotondo is among the 12 officers and 1 sergeant who have been sworn in and received their badges. The goal is to have 21 by Christmas, probably sooner, said Sarasota County Schools Police Chief Paul Grahowski. Sarasota County Schools Executive Director for Safety and Security Michael Andreas said he appreciates the support by the cities of Northport, Sarasota, and Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, which is helping cover open spots until the agency fills its staff. School Board Vice Chair Jane Goodwin said she has great confidence in Andreas and Grahowski, as well as many of the new officers, who have varied experience. We are on the right track to make schools safe, Goodwin said. Sarasota County Sheriff Tom Knight said he has sworn in a dozen additional deputies of his own for campus duty to help with the efforts and finished training 11 volunteer school guardians. The latter are non-instructional school employees who took a 144-hour course at the sheriff's office that included firearms training, crisis intervention training and active shooter scenarios. It takes courage to go into this line of work as a school safety deputy given recent events, and it takes selflessness to voluntarily become a school guardian, Knight said. As we move into the upcoming school year, parents should feel a sense of ease and level of comfort with the complete school safety package we are providing. In Charlotte, schools already had officers through deals with the Sheriff's Office and the Punta Gorda Police Department, but now have supplemented that presence at a few locations. The safety of our students and staff has always been the top priority of our school district, said Superintendent Steve Dionisio, who also implemented other changes when classes resumed last week. Some examples: a video communications device at the front door of schools and a visitor's ID scanned by the Raptor security system, which is connected to a sex offender database and alerts staff if a match is found. Sweeping legislation enacted after the February school shooting in Parkland set in motion many of the Charlotte and Sarasota changes. Some are obvious to kids as they continue stepping back onto campuses, while others are taking shape behind the scenes. The preparations have added a sobering note to this year's back-to-school rituals, which usually center on lighter themes like anticipation, making new friends and the grudging goodbye to free time. But officials say they are working to prevent the new focus on safety from stoking fear. Educators have worked through the summer to implement security measures now required by the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, also known as SB 7026. Governor Rick Scott signed the bill in March, less than a month after a gunman killed 17 people at the Broward County School. The law created new policies to harden schools, both physically and organizationally. It set aside money to boost student mental health services and requires active shooter drills and trainings. It's the new reality that we live in, said Pasco County Sheriff's Lieutenant Troy Ferguson, who oversees school safety officers. We want to make safety something that is on everyone's mind all the time, preparing them to meet threats of the current century in U.S. schools. The added security officers and safety drills are the most obvious changes for students. For many of them in elementary school, it's the first time they see an armed person on campus, said Chris Stowe, a retired Marine Master Sergeant who oversees security in Pasco schools. Previously, resource officers were limited primarily to middle and high schools. Guards have been trained to ensure they know how to explain to elementary students why they're there, Stowe said. They're not there to tell a second grader that they're there to kill a bad guy, he said. They are to be the school's beat officer, getting to know the people and the climate. Some parents in Hillsborough County have worried about how sensitive safety information will be delivered to younger students, said John Newman, director of school security in that district. It's a concern he understands and is working to balance with his job to keep students safe. What looks like a lockdown drill for kindergarten is a lot different than an 11th grader, he said. You don't want to traumatize a kid, but we also have to satisfy this mandate. For drills and training, he said, Hillsborough is working with counselors and the state to tailor the language and materials used to educate younger students on safety. Other districts are doing the same, and plan to keep parents in the loop. We don't want to heighten the angst they might be feeling after Parkland, said Pasco School Superintendent Kurt Browning. Other changes, like expanded student mental health services, won't be as evident because they are happening under the radar, Browning said. As instructed by the new law, districts have worked to meet an August 1 deadline to submit mental health plans to the state for approval. Although those changes won't directly affect most students day-to-day, more resources will be there for those who need them. Sun Regional Editor Phil Fernandez and the Tampa Bay Times writers Megan Reeves and Jeffrey S. Solochek supplemented this report. School Safety Deputy Caswell Coley, assigned to Englewood Elementary, was among the new campus officers sworn in last week by Sheriff Tom Knight. Coley worked for the Punta Gorda Police Department and New College Police Department. He has 8 years of law enforcement experience. Photos provided. School Safety Deputy Nicholas Laterza, assigned to Sky Academy Englewood, is among the new campus officers sworn in last week by Sarasota County Sheriff Tom Knight. Laterza joins the sheriff's office after serving 2 years working for Sarasota Memorial Hospital Department of Public Safety. One of the new Sarasota County Schools Police Department badges.
Hey Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done... Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
Wow.
been on a bike before, we're
Sheriff's
just
getting a little too pushy. You work for us, Sheriff. Just keep that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Police use who may want to retaliate against him physically.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use. And also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.